The explosion ripped through the convoy like a thunderclap from hell, hurling Alex Rivera into a world of fire and dust. Shrapnel tore into his leg, but it was the sight of his best friend, his brother in every way that mattered, crumpling beside him, that shattered his soul. As the medevac chopper blades thumped overhead, pulling them from the Afghan wasteland, Alex clung to Jordan's bloodied hand, whispering promises he wasn't sure he could keep. "Hang on, bro. We're going home together." Back in the States, the sterile hum of Walter Reed National Military Medical Center felt like a cruel joke after the chaos of deployment. Alex woke to the beep of monitors and the sting of IVs, his right leg elevated in a bulky cast that itched like the devil. The pain meds dulled the edges, but not the gnawing ache in his chest. Jordan was in the room next door, or so the docs had said. Critical but stable, tubes snaking from his arms like lifelines to a ghost. Alex had demanded to see him the second he surfaced from the morphine fog, but the nurses kept him at bay with excuses about infection risks and rest orders. "You're lucky to be alive, Sergeant Rivera," the lead surgeon had told him that first afternoon, a no-nonsense woman named Dr. Hale with a clipboard thicker than a field manual. "That IED was meant to erase you both. Your buddy took the worst of it shielding you." Alex nodded, throat tight, replaying the moment Jordan had shoved him down just before the blast. Brotherly instinct, they'd always called it, the kind forged in foster homes and boot camp bunks, unbreakable even under fire. But as days blurred into a haze of physical therapy and wound checks, the whispers started. Orderlies exchanging glances when they thought he wasn't listening. A chaplain lingering too long by his bedside, Bible tucked under his arm like a concealed weapon. Alex chalked it up to post-trauma bullshit. War did that, turned every shadow into a threat. He was just grateful to be stateside, back in the land of apple pie and endless bureaucracy, where the biggest enemy was red tape instead of hidden bombs. It was on the 5th day, during a routine consult, that the nurse dropped the bomb. She was a wiry woman in her 50s, Nurse Patel, with kind eyes that crinkled when she smiled, until they didn't. Alex was propped up in bed, fiddling with the remote for the ancient TV bolted to the wall, when she bustled in with his chart. "Sergeant, we need to talk about your family history for the records," she said, pulling up a stool. "Your emergency contact, Jordan Hale? He's listed as brother, but our system flagged something from your intake forms." Alex's gut twisted. "Yeah, Jordan's my brother. Foster since we were kids. What's the issue?" He kept his voice steady, the soldier's mask slipping into place. Inside, though, his mind raced. Paperwork glitches happened all the time, especially for guys like him who'd bounced through the system. Nurse Patel hesitated, flipping through pages with fingers that suddenly looked too delicate for the weight of what came next. "According to the adoption records we pulled for insurance, records your unit forwarded, he's not your brother, Sergeant. Biologically or legally. You were both placed in the same home, but separately. No blood tie, no shared last name until you enlisted together and petitioned for it." She met his eyes then, her voice softening. "I'm sorry. It must be a shock." The room tilted. Alex's breath caught, a ragged hitch that echoed in the sudden silence. "Not brothers." The word ricocheted in his skull like shrapnel, embedding deeper with every beat of his heart. All those years, the shared bedroom in that cramped Ohio trailer, the fights over the last slice of pizza, the pact to join the army and escape their dead-end town. They'd built their world on that lie. Brother. Safe. Forbidden no more? No, that couldn't. His mind recoiled, slamming doors on thoughts he'd buried under layers of denial and duty. He'd always known he was gay. Figured it out at 15, watching Jordan towel off after a pickup basketball game, water tracing paths down sun-kissed skin that made Alex's stomach flip in ways he couldn't name. But Jordan was straight as an arrow, dating cheerleaders and cracking jokes about bar hookups, so Alex locked it down. Buried the ache in brotherhood, in loyalty that demanded nothing in return. They were family, the only kind that stuck. To imagine more? It would have destroyed them. Now, the destruction was here anyway. "Get out," Alex rasped, the words tasting like ash. Nurse Patel stood, murmuring apologies, but he was already gone, lost in the freefall of what-ifs. What if he'd confessed during those late-night talks under desert stars? What if Jordan felt it too, hidden behind his easy grins. Or worse, what if he didn't? And this truth blew their bond to hell. By evening, the pain in his leg was nothing compared to the vice around his ribs. He stared at the ceiling tiles, counting cracks like enemy positions, when the door creaked open. Not a nurse this time. A familiar silhouette in a wheelchair, pushed by an orderly. Jordan, pale as the sheets, his left arm in a sling, dark hair tousled from weeks of neglect. But those blue eyes, sharp and searching, locked on Alex like a heat-seeking missile. "Alex," Jordan breathed, voice rough from disuse. The orderly parked the chair by the bed and vanished, leaving them in a bubble of beeps and unspoken freight. "They finally let me through the gauntlet. Man, you look like shit." Alex forced a laugh, brittle as dry rations. "Pot, kettle. Heard you played hero again. Dumbass move." His gaze flicked to Jordan's bandages, guilt surging hot and familiar. But beneath it, something new stirred, a treacherous spark, fed by the nurse's words. "Not brothers. Free." Jordan wheeled closer, gripping the bed rail with his good hand. Up close, the scars were fresh, a jagged line across his cheekbone, courtesy of flying glass. "Worth it. Couldn't lose you out there." His thumb brushed Alex's knuckles, a casual touch that lingered too long. Or maybe Alex was imagining it now, rewriting history with forbidden ink. They talked then, halting at first, recapping the blast, the evac, the doc's grim prognosis. Jordan's femur was pinned with titanium. He'd be off duty for a year, maybe more. Alex's leg might never fully heal, ending his combat career at 28. The Army's promises of Purple Hearts and VA benefits rang hollow against the void of what came next. Civilian life. Alone? No. Together, always together. But as night deepened, the dam cracked. Jordan's head drooped, exhaustion claiming him mid-sentence. Alex watched him sleep, the rise and fall of his chest a rhythm he'd memorized in foxholes and foster cribs. The spark flared brighter. He wanted to trace the scar on Jordan's face, whisper truths into the dark. Instead, he pulled the blanket higher, heart pounding with the weight of secrets unburied. The next morning brought visitors, their old squad mate, Ramirez, with a duffel of contraband snacks and bad jokes. "You two idiots owe me a beer for dragging your asses home," he teased, slapping Alex's good shoulder. Ramirez knew about Alex. Out since DAT's repeal, no drama in their tight-knit unit. But Jordan's straight-laced vibe kept things simple. No awkward vibes, no prying eyes. Then came Elena, Jordan's on-again, off-again girlfriend from back home in Cleveland. She swept in like a Midwest whirlwind, all blonde curls and perfume that clashed with the antiseptic air. "Oh, baby," she cooed, perching on Jordan's bed and peppering his face with kisses. Alex's stomach soured, the spark guttering under jealousy he had no right to feel. "Brother," he reminded himself savagely. Or not. The lie twisted like a knife. Elena turned to him with a bright smile, oblivious. "Alex, you're a hero too." Jordan wouldn't shut up about you during calls. She squeezed his hand, maternal in her concern, and Alex mumbled thanks, excusing himself to the bathroom. There, gripping the sink, he confronted his reflection, hollow-cheeked, eyes shadowed by ghosts. Who was he without the brother shield? A soldier sidelined, a heart exposed. Word of the mix-up spread like wildfire through the ward. Gossip in nurses' stations, pity in chaplains' prayers. By week's end, a social worker sat them down in a cramped consult room, files splayed like evidence in a court-martial. Ms. Vargas, a Latina woman with a voice like warm gravel, explained it all. Their foster mom, Mrs. Hale, had taken them in separately after their bio families imploded. Alex's dad OD'd in '98. Jordan's mom ditched him for a new life in Cali. No relation, just two lost boys she'd loved equally, petitioning to change their names to hers for unity. "She wanted you as brothers," Ms. Vargas said gently. "But legally, you're free to define it yourselves." Jordan absorbed it with his trademark calm, nodding like it was just another op brief. "Doesn't change shit," he said, clapping Alex on the back. "You're still my family, blood or not." But Alex caught the flicker in his eyes. Uncertainty? Relief? The room felt smaller, charged with possibilities that terrified him. Discharge came too soon. Alex hobbled out on crutches, Jordan in his chair, into a Virginia autumn crisp as fresh intel. The Army hooked them up with transitional housing near the base, a two-bedroom apartment in Alexandria, subsidized and sparse. Elena helped unpack, chattering about holiday plans, but she bailed after a week, citing nursing school demands back in Ohio. "Call me anytime," she told Jordan, hugging him tight. Alex wondered if the distance would stick this time, or if the war had rewritten their rules. Alone at last, the apartment echoed with unspoken tensions. Nights were the worst. Alex in the living room recliner, bedrooms felt too intimate, staring at the ceiling while Jordan snored softly down the hall. Dreams plagued him, flashes of sand and screams, morphing into stolen touches, Jordan's lips brushing his in fevered what-ifs. He'd wake sweating, pulse racing, guilt a familiar companion. One evening, over takeout Chinese that tasted like cardboard, Jordan broached it. "This brother thing, it's messing with you, huh?" He poked at his low mane, avoiding Alex's gaze. The TV droned in the background, some cop show with sirens and moral dilemmas. Alex shrugged, feigning nonchalance. "Nah, just we're hangover." Lie. The truth clawed at him. Every glance now carried weight, every brush of shoulders electric. "Bullshit." Jordan set down his fork, blue eyes piercing. "You've been weird since the hospital. Like you're keeping score or something." He leaned forward, earnest. "Talk to me, man. We're in this together." The dam trembled. Alex's mouth went dry, words tangling like barbed wire. "It's just, everything's different now. The lines we drew, they're gone." He met Jordan's stare, heart hammering. "What if I don't want them back?" Jordan froze, chopsticks midway to his mouth. The silence stretched, thick as smoke from a burned pit. Then, slowly, he lowered them. "Alex." His voice was low, threaded with something raw. "I've been waiting for you to say that." The confession hung there, a grenade with the pin half pulled. Jordan's hand reached across the table. Not brotherly, not anymore. Alex's world tilted again, not in collapse this time, but in cautious reconstruction. But as their fingers intertwined, a knock shattered the moment. Ramirez, with news from the unit. And with him, the outside world, prejudices waiting to pounce. Ramirez burst through the door like he owned the place, six-pack in one hand and a grin that split his face. "Reunion time, cabrons. Heard you lovebirds were nesting." He froze mid-stride, eyes darting from their joined hands to the tension-thick air. "Whoa, bad timing." Alex yanked back, heat flooding his face, while Jordan laughed it off. "Too sharp, too forced. Timing's never been your strong suit, Reyes. Grab a beer." The moment shattered, but shards lingered, glinting in Jordan's sidelong glances as Ramirez dominated the room with tales of barracks drama and deployment pranks. By midnight, Ramirez was 3 sheets to the wind, sprawled on the couch regaling them with the unit's latest scandal. Their CO caught in a compromising email chain, facing early retirement. "And you too? Purple Hearts incoming. Brass wants a photo op." He winked at Alex. "Don't worry, Riv, your secret's safe with us fags in the foxhole." Alex forced a chuckle, but the casual slur landed like a gut punch. Even from allies, it stung, a reminder of the tightrope they all walked. DADT was history, but the military's macho underbelly lingered, whispers in the mess hall about that queer LT who washed out after a bad op. Alex had come out to the squad post-repeal, met with shrugs and slaps on the back, but trust was earned drop by drop. Jordan, ever the shield, steered the convo to safer ground. "What's the word on our replacements?" They green as we were. As Ramirez dove in, Alex slipped to the kitchen, splashing water on his face. The reflection mocked him. Coward, holding back when the door had cracked open. Jordan's words echoed, "I've been waiting." A lifeline or a trap? The next week settled into a fragile rhythm. Physical therapy twice a day, Alex grinding through gait training while Jordan tackled occupational sessions for his arm. Afternoons blurred into video games and vet support groups, evenings into takeout and TV marathons. But the undercurrent pulled stronger. A knee bump during Mario Kart that neither acknowledged, a shared blanket on movie night that warmed more than skin. One crisp November afternoon, they ventured out, first real outing since discharge. The Alexandria waterfront buzzed with joggers and tourists, leaves crunching underfoot like brittle memories. Jordan, cane in hand, insisted on pushing Alex's chair for stretches. "Payback," he quipped, but his grip on the handles was tender, protective. At a riverside bench, overlooking the Potomac's lazy flow, they cracked open sodas from a vendor. The sun dipped low, painting Jordan's profile in gold, strong jaw, faint scars silvering in the light. Alex's chest ached with it, the beauty of him. "Remember that summer in Ohio?" he said, voice soft. "Skinny dipping in Miller's Pond after Mrs. H caught us smoking behind the garage." Jordan grinned, eyes distant. "Yeah, you chickened out first, splashed like a damn girl." He nudged Alex's shoulder. "Always the cautious one." "Not always." The words slipped out, heavy with intent. Jordan turned, expression shifting, curious, then guarded. The bench felt too small, the river too loud. Before Jordan could respond, a shadow fell over them. Two guys in fatigues, fresh-faced privates on leave. "Sarge. Rivera, right? From 2nd Platoon." The taller one saluted sloppily, his buddy hanging back with a smirk. Recognition dawned. They'd been cherries on the last rotation. "At ease," Alex said, masking unease. Small talk ensued. Unit scuttlebutt, advice on sandstorms. But the shorter one's gaze lingered on Jordan, then flicked to Alex with a knowing leer. "Heard you two are tighter than twins. Brothers for life, huh?" Jordan stiffened beside him. "Something like that." His tone was even, but Alex felt the coil of tension. As they walked off, laughter trailing, the damage settled. "Assholes," Jordan muttered, wheeling Alex faster than necessary. Back home, the silence festered. Dinner was quiet, plates scraped clean without comment. Finally, over coffee gone cold, Jordan broke. "That waiting I mentioned? It's been years, Alex. Since basic, maybe before. But I figured, brother code, you know? Couldn't risk it." Alex's heart stuttered. "And now?" "Now." Jordan's eyes burned, raw. "Now I don't give a damn about codes. Unless you do." He stood, unsteady on his cane, closing the gap. The kiss, when it came, was tentative, a brush of lips, tasting of fear and salt. Then deeper, Jordan's good hand cupping Alex's neck, pulling him in like gravity. It was everything, fireworks and fallout, homecoming and homewreck. They broke apart gasping, foreheads pressed, the world narrowing to breath shared. But joy was fleeting, reality knocked via Alex's phone, a text from Elena. "Surprise visit tomorrow. Miss you both. Red heart." Panic surged. Elena, sweet and clueless, bridged to their old life. How to navigate this? Lie? Confess? The night unraveled in whispers and what-ifs, bodies close but chaste, boundaries redrawn in the dark. Elena's arrival was a whirlwind of hugs and homemade pierogies, her energy a stark contrast to the apartment's charged hush. She flitted between them, oblivious at first, helping Jordan with laundry, quizzing Alex on therapy progress. But by evening, as they played cards at the kitchen table, her brow furrowed. "You guys seem off, like you're sharing a secret." Jordan's cards trembled slightly. Alex's laugh rang false. "Just PTSD vibes, L War's a bitch." She accepted it with a pout, but doubt lingered in her eyes. That night, she crashed on the couch, leaving Alex and Jordan to their room. First time cohabitating like this, electric with possibility. Door locked, they explored in hushed touches, fingers tracing scars, lips mapping vulnerabilities. No rush, no frenzy, just the slow burn of revelation, emotions laid bare. "I love you," Jordan murmured against Alex's collarbone, the words a vow. "Always have." Tears pricked Alex's eyes. "Me too. God, me too." In that cocoon, prejudices felt distant, society's judgments, family's ghosts. But dawn brought Elena's questions, sharper now. Over breakfast, she cornered Jordan in the kitchen. "What's going on? You're different with him." "Softer." Jordan's face paled. "Elliot's." The door buzzed. Ramirez again, with a +1, a wiry trans vet named Kai, introduced at group therapy. Kai's presence shifted the air, sharp wit, no filter. "Heard this is where the party's at. Or is it a therapy sesh?" Their eyes scanned the room, clocking tensions like a sniper. Elena's visit stretched into days, a pressure cooker. She and Jordan argued in whispers, old patterns resurfacing, her pleas for commitment clashing with his evasions. Alex overheard fragments. We've been through too much to throw it away. It's not about us anymore. Guilt gnawed at Alex. Elena deserved truth, but fear of fallout paralyzed him. The breaking point came midweek, during a group outing to a DC Pride event. Ramirez's idea, to remind you civies what freedom looks like. Banners fluttered along Pennsylvania Avenue, crowds a riot of rainbows and resolve. Kai thrived in it, trading stories with queer vets under a tent, while Ramirez flirted shamelessly with a barista. Elena tagged along reluctantly, her sundress out of place amid the glitter. Jordan and Alex stuck to the edges, hands brushing in the throng. For a moment, anonymity freed them. A stolen kiss behind a float, cheers drowning their gasps. But Elena spotted them, face crumpling like wet paper. Jordan? What the hell? Confrontation exploded amid brass bands and chants. You're gay? She hissed, voice slicing through the din with Alex. Your brother? Jordan's explanation tumbled out. The records, the feelings, the war's forge. Elena's shock morphed to fury, then tears. I loved you. Both of you like family. She fled into the crowd, phone clutched like a shield. Back home, the apartment reeked of regret. Jordan paced, cane thumping. She'll come around. Or not. But this, us, it's real. Alex nodded, but doubt crept in. Real, yes, but sustainable? Whispers from the unit had already started. Rivera and Hale, more than bros? Prejudices weren't abstract. They were pink slips, sidelong stares, doors slammed. Kai texted later, heard the drama. Hit me up if you need backup. We're all misfits here. Solidarity, but small against the storm. As winter loomed, Alex wondered if love could weather it, or if he'd just traded one battlefield for another. Winter clamped down on Alexandria like a drill sergeant's grip, snow blanketing the streets in deceptive peace. Alex's therapy intensified, pool sessions to rebuild strength, his leg protesting every kick. Jordan adapted faster, ditching the cane for a slight limp, channeling energy into job hunts. Security consulting firms sniffing around vets with combat cred. But home was a minefield, Elena's ghost-haunting texts and voicemails left unanswered. She broke radio silence on a gray December morning, showing up unannounced with a box of ornaments and forced cheer. Holiday truce, she declared, breezing past their stunned faces. Can't let Cleveland Winters win without a fight. Jordan hesitated, then stepped aside. Alex busied himself with coffee, heart pounding. The tree trimming turned awkward ritual. Elena humming carols off-key. Jordan hanging lights with mechanical precision. Alex untangling garland like nerves. Stories flowed. Childhood Christmases in Mrs. H's trailer. String lights masking the chill of unpaid bills. She'd say we were her miracles, Jordan recalled, voice thick. Elena softened then, touching his arm. You still are. By evening, wine loosened tongues. Elena grilled them gently. Timelines, turning points, the hospital revelation. So it's not sudden. Just hidden. Her eyes glistened, not with anger now, but ache. I get it, sort of. But it hurts, knowing I was the placeholder. You're not, Alex interjected, surprising himself. You were real for him. For us. Gratitude flickered. Elena had been the buffer, the normalcy they'd craved. She stayed through New Year's, a bridge mending in fits. Fireworks burst over the Potomac as they toasted on the balcony. Awkward trio, but thawing. To truths, Jordan said, arm around Alex. Elena raising her glass with a wry smile. And to not fucking it up worse. January brought reintegration classes at the VA, circles of vets swapping war stories and resume tips. Kai became a fixture, their non-binary presence a steadying force. Tattoos peeking from hoodies, jokes laced with hard-won wisdom. Family's what you build, not birth, Kai told Alex over lukewarm coffee. Mine disowned me post-transition, found my tribe in the suck. Inspired, Alex reached out to his bio aunt in Philly, a distant figure from foster files. Her reply was cautious, heard you're home. Doors open. The visit was stilted, tea in a floral kitchen, photos of cousins Alex barely recalled. But her hug at goodbye lingered, a crack in isolation's wall. Jordan's progress stalled, though. Job interviews ghosted him, callbacks drying up. Too gimpy, he joked bitterly, but Alex saw the erosion. nights staring at ceilings, mornings laced with bourbon. One storm-lashed evening, it boiled over. What if I'm broken goods? Who wants a vet with baggage? Alex pulled him close, rain pattering like distant fire. I do. We rebuild together. Their lovemaking was fierce that night, a reclaiming, bodies mapping hurts and hopes, whispers weaving promises. No rush to labels. This was foundation laying, brick by vulnerable brick. Spring teased with cherry blossoms, but shadows lengthened. Ramirez called with unit gossip, their old platoon deploying sans them, toasts raised in the diaphasie. Miss your ugly mugs, he slurred, background laughter a gut punch. Envy twisted, for the purpose, the camaraderie, the illusion of wholeness. Then the letter arrived. Army Review Board, citing Alex's injury from medical separation. Honorable discharge, benefits intact, but finality hit like a demotion. Jordan's came weeks later, same verdict. Outcasts now, Jordan quipped, but his eyes were stormy. To cope, they dove into community, volunteering at a DC LGBTQ center, sorting donations for homeless youth. There, they met Theo, a twinkish activist with a megaphone voice and unflagging optimism. Pride's not just June, he preached, organizing panels on vet mental health. It's every damn day. Theo's energy infected them. Jordan co-led a workshop on foster trauma, his limp a badge. Alex shared coming-out stories, voice steadying with each nod. Friendships bloomed, dinners with Kai and Theo, game nights where laughter drowned doubts. But prejudice lurked. A center protest against military bans on trans enlistees drew counter-protesters, red-hatted locals chanting slurs, signs decrying agenda. Alex shielded a teen from spit-flying rage, Jordan's fist clenching. Cops dispersed it, but the venom lingered, a reminder. Acceptance was fragile, fought for. Elena's evolution surprised them. She started dating a barista from Pride, confiding in Jordan via text. Turns out I'm bi-curious. Thanks for the nudge. Relief washed over them. No bridges burned, just widened. Summer sweltered in, humidity thick as unresolved tension. A road trip beckoned. Ohio pilgrimage to Mrs. H's grave, then Cleveland roots. The drive was therapy on wheels, playlists of old rock, pit stops at diners where accents thickened. At the cemetery, weeds choked the stone, but they knelt anyway, weeding and weeping. She knew. Jordan said, tracing her name. About us. Saw it in the way we looked. Alex believed it. Back home, they hosted a barbecue. Ramirez grilling, Kai DJing, Theo debating politics. Elena arrived with her girl, tentative hugs evolving to easy chatter. As dusk fell, fireflies dancing, Jordan pulled Alex aside. This is it. Our squad. But twists waited. A VA psych eval flagged Jordan for adjustment disorder, mandating therapy. Sessions unearthed demons, survivors' guilt from the blast, buried bisexuality, shamed by foster taunts. Thought I was protecting you by staying straight, he confessed to Alex post-session. Idiot move. Alex's own ghosts surfaced, repressed rage at his dad's neglect, fear of abandonment. Couples counseling followed, Kai's wreck, where a soft-spoken therapist unpacked their codependence. Love isn't possession, she urged. It's choice, daily. Fall leaves turned, marking a year stateside. The unit's return brought Ramirez crashing back, tales of close calls and losses. Over beers, he cornered them. Saw the Pride pics online. Proud of you, brothers, or whatever. His grin was genuine, but news followed. CO's retirement party invite, plus one's welcome. The event was a minefield, starched uniforms, sidelong stares. Alex and civvies felt exposed. Jordan's suit hid his limp, but not his tension. Toasts lauded service, but whispers circled. Hale and Rivera, shacked up now? A colonel's wife cornered Elena's ex-vibe, prying. Such devotion. Almost unnatural. Jordan's retort was ice. War makes families of all kinds, ma'am. They left early, adrenaline buzzing. In the car, laughter erupted, cathartic, defiant. Winter circled again, but lighter now. Holiday cards from the center kids, job offers trickling. Alex in vet advocacy, Jordan in private security. One snowy eve, under strung lights, Jordan knelt, not with a ring, but a key. To our place. Ours. Tears blurred Alex's yes. But as champagne popped, a call shattered joy. Ramirez, voice cracking. Kai's in the hospital. Assault. Those protest assholes. Vigil at the ER, holding Kai's hand through bruises. Non-binary flag pinned to the curtain. Hate's loud. Kai rasped, but we're louder. Resolve hardened. Tomorrow, they'd fight. Petitions, press, unbreakable. In the waiting room hush, Alex leaned on Jordan. Worth every battle. Jordan kissed his temple. Damn right. The assault on Kai rippled outward like a shockwave, galvanizing their patchwork family. Petitions circulated overnight. Theo's megaphone rallying allies from pride floats to congressional halls. Alex drafted statements for local news, his military precision honing words into weapons. Our veterans serve with honor. They deserve to live without fear. Jordan coordinated security for vigils, his limp forgotten in purpose's fire. Media swarmed, a local station interview in their living room, lights harsh on Kai's fading bruises. This isn't isolated, Alex said, voice steady. Prejudice festers in silence. The segment aired prime time, tips flooding in, witnesses, tips on the attackers. Justice moved slow, but momentum built. Through it, their bond deepened, not in grand gestures, but quiet anchors. Mornings with shared coffee, Jordan sketching advocacy logos while Alex reviewed case files. Evenings unwinding with podcasts on queer history, laughter punctuating horrors. Built more balls in the 30s, Jordan marveled. We ain't the first. Elena's crew integrated seamlessly. Her girlfriend, Sam, a tattoo artist with a knack for custom ink. She designed a squad tattoo. Interlocking gears, symbolizing forged unbreakable. They got it together at her shop, needles buzzing like camaraderie. Spring bloomed defiant, cherry blossoms defiant against late frosts. Kai's recovery was fierce, PT alongside them, trash-talking through reps. Gonna run that next Pride 5K, watch. Group therapy evolved, vets sharing scars, a lesbian Marine's dishonorable under DADT, a by vet's divorce fallout. Bonds formed, a network against isolation. But cracks appeared in paradise. Jordan's new job demanded travel, corporate gigs in New York, Chicago. First overnight left Alex pacing, ghosts of deployment loneliness rising. Phone sex was clumsy, laughter masking ache. Miss your snoring, Alex joked. Miss your warmth, Jordan countered, voice husky. Return brought makeup intensity, but distance sowed doubt. A work dinner in D.C. introduced Alex to Marcus, a charming policy wonk with easy smiles and shared causes. Flirtation sparked, innocent at first, drinks turning to debates on trans rights. Guilt followed. Was this temptation or truth? Confession over takeout. Met someone. Nothing happened, but Jordan's face shuddered, then softened. We're human, Alex. Talk to my therapist. Jealousy's normal, but trust's the glue. They recommitted, boundaries redrawn. Date nights mandatory, check-ins ritual. Summer heat wave coincided with pride, bigger, bolder. They marched as a block, Ramirez waving a massive flag, Elena and Sam hand in hand, Kai leading chants. Jordan and Alex anchored the rear, his arm around Alex's waist, unapologetic. A heckler's slur bounced off, cheers drowned it. Post-march barbecue at the center, grills smoking, music thumping. Theo cornered them, eyes twinkling. Heard your house hunting. Spill. Excitement bubbled, their lease ending, dreams of a fixer-upper in Arlington. Viewings followed, creaky floors, potential porches for future barbecues. But autumn winds carried omens. Alex's leg acted up, chronic pain flaring. MRI revealing nerve damage, surgery looming. 6 weeks recovery, the doc said. Jordan canceled a trip, but resentment simmered unspoken. Can't keep playing nurse. Therapy unpacked it. Codependency's shadow, resentment's root. Support each other as equals, the counselor urged. Alex prepped solo, Jordan empowering. Meal trains from the squad, check-ins without hovering. Surgery day, Jordan held his hand through anesthesia's pull. Wake-up was groggy hell, but progress was steady. Crutches traded for cane, mirroring Jordan's. Humor bonded them. Matching handicaps now. Fashion statement. Holiday season arrived healed. Elena hosted. Pyrrhus and eggnog, Sam carving turkey. Toasts to Kai's first post-assault date. Ramirez's promotion. Under the tree, Alex unwrapped a scrapbook. Photos from foster days to pride floats, captioned with inside jokes. Our story, Jordan whispered. Unfinished. New year dawned with house keys. A row home with a yard. Ghosts of Mrs. H's lessons in hand. Unpacking unearthed relics. Jordan's old dog tags. Alex's deployment journal. One entry, dated pre-blast. If I don't make it, tell Jay the truth. Love him more than blood. Jordan read it aloud, voice breaking. You survived. We both did. Winter's chill deepened resolve. Kai's attackers faced charges, witness testimony sealing it. Victory party at the new place, laughter echoing off fresh paint. But quiet moments revealed growth. Alex mentoring a young gay recruit via email, Jordan volunteering at foster outreach. Spring brought renewal, a garden plot, seeds of tomatoes and hope. Marcus faded to friend, boundaries honored. Elena announced engagement, inviting them as family of honor. Yet conflict brewed. A national news cycle reignited LGBT ghosts, conservative pundits railing against woke military, citing stats on unit cohesion. Online trolls targeted vets. Alex's interview clip doctored, slurs appended. Traitor Fairy, one read. Rage boiled. Jordan punched a bag in the garage till knuckles split. They don't get it. We fought for this. Protest calls followed, but exhaustion tempered fire. Pick battles, Kai advised. Long game. Summer's pride was triumphant. Keynote slot for their panel. From foxholes to freedom. Applause thundered. Tears flowed. Backstage, Jordan pulled Alex close. Proud of us. Fall harvest yielded bumper crops. Canned sauces shared with neighbors. A block party introduced them to Lee, a quiet by dad next door. Playdates with his kid, barbecues blending lives. Winter solstice bonfire, squad gathered, stories weaving like smoke. Ramirez proposed to his girl, ring glinting. Elena's wedding loomed, Ohio spring affair. As snow fell, Alex reflected. From collapse to construction, love's blueprint drawn in scars and sunrises. Jordan's head on his shoulder, breath sinking. Ready for more? Always, Alex murmured. The world spun on, prejudices persisting, but their orbit held, unshakable, profound. No, their orbit wobbled. Elena's wedding invitation arrived crisp, but RSVP notes stung. Family table for you both, as brothers. A polite dodge, her new life carving lines. Jordan's jaw tightened. She's protecting Sam. Or us. Hurt lingered, a bruise on progress. Therapy revisited it. Boundaries with exes, evolving roles. Grieve the old, embrace the new, the counselors said. They sent regrets with love, focusing inward. Anniversary trip to the Smokies, cabin isolation healing wounds. Hiking trails challenged limits. Alex's leg protesting inclines. Jordan's arm aching on downhills. Summit views rewarded. Misty peaks, eagles wheeling. Like our path, Jordan said, hand in Alex's. Steep, but worth. Back home, professional tides turned. Alex's advocacy landed a grant, funding for queer vet retreats. Jordan's firm promoted him, travel balanced with telecommutes. Success bred security, but spotlight invited scrutiny. A profile in Out magazine, Heroes Unbroken, garnered acclaim and bile. Fan mail mixed with death threats, VA upping security. One night, porch light flickering, Alex found a brick through the window. Go back to your foxhole, freaks. Police dusted for prints, squad rallied. Ramirez installing cameras, Kai crashing for solidarity. Fear coiled, but defiance rose. They want us scared? Nah, Theo rallied. We march louder. Retreat planning consumed spring. Site in Virginia's Blue Ridge, sessions on resilience. First attendees, a dozen vets, stories raw. Trans soldiers discharge fight, lesbians command harassment. Alex facilitated icebreakers, Jordan handled logistics. Bonds formed fast, campfires crackling with truths. Kai's closing speech slayed. We didn't break in battle. We bend, unbreakable. Tears and hugs, promises to reconvene. The drive home buzzed, validations high. Summer sweltered with Elena's nuptials looming. They attended solo, Alex as best army buddy, Jordan via video. Vows exchanged under Ohio oaks, Elena radiant. Post-ceremony text. Missed you both. Table next time. Promise. Relief. Tentative. Pride that year amplified. Float sponsored by their retreat. Vets waving from atop. Jordan proposed mid-parade. Not knee, but megaphone. Marry me, Rivera? Cheers erupted. Alex's yes drowned in confetti. Engagement news spread wildfire. Squad toasts. Center banners. Planning ensued. Small ceremony. Fall leaves as witnesses. Venue hunt yielded a lakeside pavilion. Inclusive officiant. But autumn storms brewed. Jordan's ex-boss, a vet with grudges, leaked old unit rumors. Hale's confusion cost lives. Baseless, but viral. Trolls amplifying. Job whispers starting. Board called Jordan in. PR headache. Consider leave. Fury ignited. Resignation followed. Swift. Not selling my soul, he told Alex, packing boxes. Transition panic hit. Savings buffer, but uncertainty loomed. Alex's grant expanded, hiring Jordan as co-director. Pivot seamless. Dual leadership, retreat scaling. Gratitude deepened intimacy. Nights plotting futures, days building empires. Wedding day dawned crisp, October gold. Squad assembled. Ramirez best man. Kai maid of honor. Theo ring bearer with flair. Elena arrived last minute, Sam in tow. Family table. She winked, seating them central. Vows echoed lakeside. Alex's, you mended my world. Jordan's together, unbreakable. Rings exchanged, simple bands etched with gears. Kiss sealed it, cheers rippling. Reception danced till dusk. First dance to Springsteen's Born to Run, evoking Foster escapes. Toasts flowed. Ramirez's roast, Kai's poetry. Elena's, to loves that redefine family. Honeymoon in Key West. Beaches healing, sunsets sacred. Snorkeling revealed reefs, color amid scars. Like us, Alex said, floating hand in hand. Homecoming brought buzz. Retreat bookings full, media requests. A TEDx invite followed. Jordan solo, on Brotherhood Beyond Blood. Standing ovation, viral clip. Winter holidays merged traditions. Elena's Pyrrhus, Squad's Secret Santa. New Year's, they hosted. Fireworks from the porch, resolutions whispered. Grow. Love fiercer. Spring greened with purpose. Kai came out stronger, dating a poet. Ramirez's wedding loomed, Vegas blowout. Elena announced pregnancy, joy shared. But equilibrium shifted. Alex's pain resurfaced, docs recommending experimental therapy, stem cells, risky. Jordan's support unwavering, but fear flickered. Can't lose you now. Decision weighed. Pros, cons, squad input. Fight smart, Ramirez urged. Procedure booked, prep rigorous. Surgery eve, vigil, hands held, stories swapped. Anesthesia pulled, Jordan's face last sight, anchor. Recovery blurred. Pain, progress, patience. Jordan's bedside vigils mirrored hospital days, roles reversed. Full circle, Alex rasped, squeezing his hand. Months mended, legs stronger, steps surer. Gratitude parties erupted, barbecue blowouts, toasts to tenacity. Summer's retreat hit peak. 100 attendees, keynotes from allies. A young vet approached Alex. Your story gave me courage to come out. Ripple effect, profound. Pride closed the season. Married now, arm in arm, legacy marching. Fall harvest, they planted more. Literal garden, metaphorical dreams. A book deal whispered. Memoir co-authored, truths transcribed. Winter's hush settled, snow soft. Curled by fire, Jordan mused. From collapse to this. Miracles. Alex smiled. Hours. Yet, as embers glowed, a letter arrived. Bio family outreach. Jordan's mom, regret-laden. Forgiveness arc beckoned, complex. They'd navigate, together, love's terrain ever shifting, but theirs eternally. Jordan's mom's letter arrived like an unexploded ordnance. Postmarked California, script shaky with age. I've followed your path from afar, it read. Proud. Sorry. Can we talk? Enclosed photo. Young Jordan, toddler grin, her arm around him pre-abandonment. Reaction split. Alex advocated caution, scars fresh. Jordan curiosity peaked. Therapy's tools sharpened. Not erasure, he said. Closure maybe. Emails exchanged. Halting, then flowing. Her name, Carla. Cancer diagnosis, regrets unpacked. First meet was neutral. DC coffee shop, neutral ground. Carla, gaunt and scarf. Eyes blue mirrors of Jordan's. Hugs awkward. Words tentative. I was young, scared. Thought you'd be better without. Jordan nodded, pain veiled. Alex observed. Hand under table, silent sentinel. Sessions followed. Mediated, measured. Carla's tales filled gaps. His bio dad's jazz gigs. Her waitress shifts. You were light, she said. Forgiveness trickled, not flood. Alex's bio aunt hosted Thanksgiving. Philly row house, cousins curious. The soldier uncles, kids dubbed them. Turkey carved, stories spun, acceptance warmed like pie. Winter deepened with Carla's visits. Chemo days, Jordan driving. Alex joined, bridges building. Her final spring. Hospice peace, while leaving trinkets. A locket for Jordan, letter for Alex. Thank you for loving my boy. Grief shared, growth from ashes. Memorial scattered, Pacific ashes, Jordan's closure complete. Spring's retreat innovated. Family inclusion track, fosters to vets. Elena's baby arrived. Niece Nora, chubby fists grasping rings. Godparents' honor bestowed, diapers and delight. Ramirez's Vegas wedding. Neon chaos, vows amid slots. Best man Judy's bonded. Tequila toasts, dance floor dominance. Summer scorched with book deadlines. Unblooded bonds. Alternating chapters. Launches packed. Signings with squad selfies. Reviews raving, raw, resonant. Pride keynote duo. Alex on visibility. Jordan on vulnerability. Standing O. Then after party. Theo's proposal to partner. Cheers cascading. Fall foliage framed second anniversary. Smokey's redux. Trails conquered. Cabin nights reignited sparks. Bodies familiar. Love evolving. But equilibrium quaked. VA policy shift. Benefits cuts rumored. Queer vets targeted. Advocacy ramped. Lobby days. Capitol Hill testimonies. We served. Now serve us. Alex thundered. Coalition built. Vets. Allies. Elena's PDA moms surprisingly fierce. Wins small. Hearings delayed, but momentum. Winter holidays grand. Nora's first crawl. Multi-gen chaos. Carla's locket opened. Tiny photo. Jordan's baby face. Legacy, he whispered. New year. Resolutions refined. Expand retreat nationally. Foster adoptions mentored. Spring bloomed bountiful. Book tour East Coast. Fans sharing stories. One night. Philly. Aunt's dinner. Proposal whispers. Kids someday. Jordan mused. Surrogacy talks tentative. Dreams seeded. Retreat scaled. West Coast outpost. Kai directing. Grand opening. Toasts across miles. Unity unbroken. Summer's heat wave tested. Protests reignited. Counter-hate patrols. A scuffle. Jordan shielding a teen. Lip split. Alex's fury. Enough. Lawsuit filed. Spotlight searing. Pride defiant. Armored floats. Security squads. Their float led. Banners bold. Message clear. Love served here. Fall Harvest Festival. Garden Bounty. Community Fair. Lee's Kid. Now Toddler Terror. Crown Pie King. Neighbor bonds deepened. Block watch queer inclusive. Winter's grip softened by grants. Expansion funded. Staff hired. Book sequel brainstormed. Beyond bonds. Anniversary 3. Lakeside renewal. Vows refreshed. Squad witnessed. Elena officiating. Full circle. Yet, whispers of change. Alex's wanderlust stirred. Overseas aid work. Jordan's caution. Roots first. Balcony debates. Decisions deferred. Love's dance. Steps synced. Spring's retreat finale. 150 strong. Transformations testified. A vet's note. You saved me. Wait, wondrous. Elena's family grew. Nora walking. Sibling en route. Aunt Judy's delighted. Philly visits routine. Summer sabbatical. Road trip cross-country. Grand Canyon gazes. Route 66 diners. Memories minted. Horizons widened. Pride homecoming. Keynote on journeys. Applause affirming. Fall's chill brought clarity. Aid work compromise. Short stints. Jordan joining. First gig. Berlin Queer Conference. accents exotic. Winter wrapped warmly. Nora's holiday giggles. Squad snowball fights. New Year dawned expansive. Book 2 outlined. Retreat global. From nurse's words to world stage, their arc arced upward. Love's gravity, pulling through. Jordan's hand in Alex's, eternal. More chapters. Infinity, Alex grinned. The story, theirs, unending, unafraid.